Middle Eastern houses. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they suck. But when you do find a good fragrance from a Middle Eastern house, like the house of Rasasi, it can sometimes be a winner. And this fragrance to me is a gem. And the fragrance that I'm going to review in this episode is Daarej Pour Homme. Hello everyone, welcome to this brand new video on my Fragrance Mat channel. It's been a few weeks, maybe even a month or something since I did my last video. I just want to basically apologize. I've been working on my music, been, taking my time doing other things that I do have a passion for. But I am back for this video and I can't wait to get started, so let's go. So in this video, we're going to be talking about this fragrance right here. This is Daarej Pour Homme, and this comes from the United Arab Emirates house, Rasasi. Now, Rasasi are known as a bit of a clone house, in all honesty. Not all of their fragrances are clones, but most of them are. Their most well-known is, of course, Club de Nuit Intense, which is a clone of Creed Aventus, which a lot of people in the community swear by. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people still prefer the real thing, which is fair enough. I have reviewed that already on my channel many years ago. I received a sample from a good friend in the community. I've never owned that fragrance in a full bottle. Maybe I will in the future, who knows. But in this video I thought I would dwell some light on this fragrance that's been in my collection for about 2 to 3 years now. I've never reviewed this and I thought the right time is here to review it. Now, this fragrance, I'm going to spray it right here, has a really good spray in all fairness. This is what the bottle design looks like. Has this really unique design, I think. It's curved here on the sides. We get Daarej Pour Homme, and we get the Arab writing on the bottom here for Rasasi, or the Arabian writing, I should say. Now, the juice is purple, hence why I've got my purple lighting in my room. So I thought it would create like a good ambiance. So here we go, guys. This fragrance is basically a clone, okay? But the clone of the fragrance is actually for a scent that doesn't exist anymore. It came from the Italian house of Valentino, and the fragrance was called V. If you guys have ever smelled that fragrance, then you'll know exactly what I mean. Sadly, I've never even had my nose past it, so I don't exactly know if this smells exactly like it. But according to Fragrantica, people say it's similar. Now, that fragrance came out in 2006, I believe, which is actually not that long ago. Well, it is, but it isn't at the same time. I mean, it's not like it's a vintage fragrance, which is usually what I'm into, but it came out in 2006 and it got a very good response from the public. A lot of people say that it was a beautiful fragrance, very sexy, long-lasting, great sillage, all that sort of good stuff. But it's discontinued now, and prices for it on eBay, Amazon, any other website that you can find it, sellers are looking for a very high price for it, so it's a bit of a shame. It does usually happen with fragrances that are no longer on the market. So this fragrance apparently is similar to it. Now, I don't know if it is, like I said, I've never smelled Valentino V, but we are going to shine some light on this fragrance right here. Now, I don't know who the perfumer is. There's no information online whatsoever about who designed it, which is a shame because I think whoever did make this really did do a good job, because it's a very, very nice invigorating scent. It has some beautiful sweet notes in it. It's not exactly an oud based fragrance, which is, it's not exactly uncommon when it comes to these Middle Eastern houses. It's actually quite a Western type scent in terms, so it smells like a French perfume in all fairness, or an Italian scent like Valentino V if you like. But in this video we are going to be talking about the notes, how it smells, how it projects, and if you should actually buy this fragrance, so whether or not it's worth it or not. So here we go. So the reviews for Rasasi Pour Homme, let me start again. For Daarej Pour Homme are pretty mixed on Fragrantica. The reason I use Fragrantica a lot is because it's, it's pretty spot on in terms of its reviews, note listings and whatnot. There are so many fragrance directories, but when I look on Fragrantica, the reviews are quite neutral. There's some people saying that it's not worth it. There's some people saying that it's a masterpiece. I think it's a good fragrance, in all fairness. Like I said, it might have been reformulated since then, but I think this is a really, really good fragrance for what it is. The price I paid for it, I think I paid like £22 for this when I got it 3 years ago. So it's very inexpensive, but the price tag does not match the smell, let me tell you. So what kind of scent is this? Well, it's classified as an amber vanilla fragrance, or an amber spicy. I suppose you could say that as well. It is very exotic, I think. It has a very exotic smell to it. Has a little bit of a freshness. It's spicy and very vanilla-y as well. That's what I would say straight away. Looking at the accords for this, usually I don't read accords off, but I will in this video. We have vanilla, warm, spicy, powdery, amber, aromatic, fresh, spicy, woody, sweet, balsamic, and rose. We also get the floral rose in this as well. So I'm going to talk about the notes first though. Of course, I'll post the notes on the screen so you guys can see. In the top, we have a very nice green spicy opening with the notes of cumin, cardamom, and artemisia. So when you first spray this, it does definitely have a green character to it. I think that's where I'm getting the freshness from. And with that cumin spice as well, definitely gives it a sort of... it literally smells like cumin, like a straight up cumin. But it has this spiciness to it, and it just smells very invigorating and good. Every time I do a video, there's always distractions. Doesn't sound like deli actually, it sounds like bow. I don't know. In the middle of this fragrance, we get the notes of rose and orris root. Now, orris root is a very underrated note in my opinion. I have a few fragrances that feature that note, and it smells really good when it's done right. However, I don't really get it in this. You definitely get the rose though. The rose is very, very nice. And in the base, now the base notes is where you get the majority of the notes straight away. So you definitely do get that vanilla, tonka, creaminess. There is definitely an amber touch to this. Maybe a touch of patchouli, and the sandalwood and the musk I personally do not get. I think they're just there to create a balance in the base. But straight away, now to me this smells like a well-groomed man on a night out. This is the type of smell I can imagine someone wearing in a nightclub, or maybe even somewhere a bit more secluded, maybe like a nice cocktail bar or something like that. A guy wearing maybe a suit, or maybe just a nice white shirt. Definitely a date night sort of scent also, but it does have this partying atmospheric vibe to it as well. Now to me, straight away, the first thing that comes to my mind in terms of the smell is you do get this vanilla, but it's done in a fresh way. So usually vanilla comes across as creamy. It can sometimes be too gourmand, cupcake. I'm not a big fan of that type of vanilla if I'm honest. But in this, it does have a freshness to it. It's like a fresh vanilla with this very nice amber on top, with a lovely rose underneath. I do definitely get this vibrant rose. And usually with rose, it's a note that I'm not really a big fan of, but if it's done nice in a fragrance and it works well with other notes, it can smell really incredible. And it does in this. It really does in this. To me, it's a solid fragrance, and I think the price you pay for it will, I think it's still cheap even to this day. There is even a female version of this as well. I've never smelt it, but it might be worth checking out in the future. But in terms of the fragrance itself, it is very well balanced. It lasts on my skin for actually quite a long time also. I get at least 8 to 9 hours out of this. And it is an eau de parfum concentration as well, so it works like an eau de parfum, in my humble opinion. But it's got this very nice sexy aura to it. It's very, very nice, to be honest with you. And like I said, very Western in terms of its influence. It definitely has this... it smells like a French fragrance or an Italian fragrance rather than, a fragrance made in the United Arab Emirates. It's just beautiful. It really is. And, the purple juice, I think that's definitely trying to copy the Valentino V, because I'm pretty sure that had like a lilac coloured juice, but this is very much like a deep purple, maybe like an Ultraviolet Man by Paco Rabanne or a Prada Amber Pour-Homme. Which is interesting, actually, that I mentioned Prada Amber Pour-Homme, because a lot of people think this smells like it. I personally don't. I think it's very, very different in its approach. I think Prada Amber is personally a more smoother fragrance, whereas this one, it has a bit more of a spiciness. It has that rose in there, which is just very, very nice, creating that bouquet, nice, beautiful rose smell. But the cumin and, of course, the orris root is there as well, creating this creamy, spicy scent. It's beautiful. Really, really nice. The cap kind of reminds me a little bit of something like Mont Blanc-esque. But the atomizer is black also. But it's great. It sprays well. It smells well. I'll have to get my girlfriend's opinion on this because I don't actually think I've ever wore this around her. What do you think of it, actually?
That's lovely.
It's nice, isn't it? It's very smooth, very sexy smell, but yeah, you like it? Cool. I might have to wear it a lot more then. It's a good scent, guys. I would definitely recommend this. If you are somebody who's, really into luxurious smells and you don't really want to pay the big money, I think Daarej Pour Homme is an excellent choice. But like I said, go on for Granica. If you guys are unsure about it, go on for Granica. You will see neutral reviews for this. This is just my most honest review. I do think it's worth it. I think it's worth every penny. I don't know if it's been reformulated. Like I said, I've had this for 3 years now, so whether or not it's changed since then, most likely, it might actually still be worth it. I might actually pick up a new bottle of this in the future just to check it out and maybe do a comparison just to see if it's changed much. But for what it is, an excellent fragrance from the House of Rasasi. I need to check out more Rasasi fragrances, if I'm honest. There's a few out there that I've got my eye on. But this one is excellent. And the thing is with Rasasi's fragrances, they tend to, they're definitely a love-hate house. They do create fragrances, different price points. Usually the ones that are more expensive are the ones to go for. But with this being at the price of £22 at the time, 3 years ago, might be a bit more now, I'm not sure. But for what it was, I think it's a really, really solid fragrance. I really do. So, guys, that is my review. Well, actually, we'll discuss more about the longevity before I actually do end this review. 8 to 9 hours of longevity, so it's pretty solid in my opinion. The sillage is also really good. When you spray this, I usually go 3 sprays, 1 behind each ear and 1 on the chest. That's what I would do with this, and it gets me a good 9 hours. Right now on my hand, this will be here all night, so it's one of those fragrances that you don't want to go too heavy, but you can if you want because it's, a cheap fragrance. But at the same time, you don't want to completely drown out people. You want to smell subtle and, nice. You don't want to smell like the guy who smells like too much fragrances who walks into a bar and people can't stand to be around him. This is a good fragrance for the money. I would highly recommend that you guys check out Rasasi Pour Homme. Rasasi, I've said it again. Daarej Pour Homme by Rasasi. It's a really good fragrance. Guys, thank you so much for watching this review. It really means a lot that you guys have returned to watch me. I know it's been a long time. I've had another hiatus, but, in all fairness, I feel like I've needed this one just so I can focus on my music a little bit more. I'm still going to be focusing on my music, but I'm going to be putting my fragrance reviews back in there just so, you guys aren't completely, aware of my absence, if that makes sense. I want to be back as much as I possibly can doing this. And next weekend should be a fun review because me and my girlfriend Stacey, we're actually going away to a place called Rothbury, where we're staying in this little tin hut. Should be nice, very romantic. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be bringing you guys a review for that also in the hut and showing you guys around. It should be fun. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for all the love that you guys have given me over the past few months. Thank you for all the responses. For my concert that I went to with my girlfriend also. We went to see Dream Theater. That was awesome. I appreciate all the responses for that. And as always, anytime, guys, you guys can message me with any inquiries, any questions that you have about fragrances. And as always, keep smelling good, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye for now.